And the bomb explodes.
Boom.
Luminosity win a round. Folks, it's a swift update. There was a round that was under the progress of the server crash. There was a save that had been called. So pretty much everything had already been unfolded. And because the teams agreed to that situation, they did, of course, replay it just now as we come back into the game, which is alive.
Alive. 100% guaranteed.
A reanimated corpse. 3-2. Rogue still up by 1. Luminosity obviously picks up the previous with the explosion, but Rogue was in the process of saving. So, just so you guys know what unfolded, that is the scenario.
That's what happened.
Now let's get this game underway. First of 2, and I want to see some ops. Ricky obviously here for the CT side. He's got old Henny on the other, but no AWP just yet, right? That 5 AK setup here, Launders.
That's true. Anything is possible.
Hey!
Hey! Sorry, I want to use that a few more times.
I hadn't heard that yet. That's a fresh life.
Yeah,
that's a cat one in 9 lives.
Not the last time you'll hear that. That's for sure. Strap in tight, boys. Ricky does the opposite. All the way into CT. Luminosity look to get mid control, and I like this. Rogue try to fight back for it. This is what you need to do. But someone's I thought that someone snuck into CT. I was incorrect. I retract my statement. Instead, 2 in the halls. I don't know. They're going to try to go back for this. Losing a man, it's pretty demoralizing. They just spent all those nades going for top mid control. Rogue said no. They've got an extra smoke here, which is good. They can use this to throw a semi-fake if they wanted to, but they've got to commit now, and Rogue have done a great job holding on to utility.
20 seconds. Do or die. 6 spots, nothing. Just the timing. And now Vice, he's going to peek in as Hiko definitely gets that confirmed contact. We do have, of course, now double kills coming in. Henny gets himself exploding down towards the site, but he doesn't even get a frag for that. Hiko just locks it down with 2, and then Steel's going to go tuck tail and save.
Great utility usage from Rogue. Definitely the MVP of the round. They, smoking them out of halls, having that late smoke on Arch. It was just the fact that they also were able to reclaim mid that late into things. It's all these things are pluses for Rogue, and a lot of it doesn't even have to do with gunplay. So, utility, Rogue's best friend at the moment, and it's a mountain that Luminosity will have to climb. And they're going to try again this time with a lot worse guns, but they have invested in a lot of utility as well. Nekas definitely took a hit on a better gun to make sure that he has a full utility belt.
That's what you want, full belt. Want your pants strapped up.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen anybody get caught with them down just yet. It doesn't look like we will. Rogue retreating into the B-bomb sites. I was going to say that op still floating towards mid, but of course Henny's right there ready to receive the peak. Deleted is Ricky. That's a big kill. It's up or down. And now Lucas, well, he's just waiting for someone to go on this exact type of expedition. Crystal, despite being aware of the possibility, just dies to Lucas. So brothers in arms have got themselves a little footing here in the 7th round.
Pushing for information is not unwarranted. Definitely justify that, and I like that they're going back to mid as well. But in the 3v4, this is sometimes where you see teams just overstack one site, just because if it does 2v5 on the A site, it's probably going to be Luminosity to win, and it seems like they're going to have one idea better. This is a great smoke, so normally you don't want to smoke mid that late. You want to hold it back on the site, but this makes it so that Luminosity have to say, okay, well, they just smoked mid. What does that mean for us? That means that we can't fake top mid control, and it's actually going to allow Rogue to stack. I think they're going to wait for this player in halls to come out late, and he might be a big flank.
Whoa. No connection there from Sick. That's a bit unfortunate. Would have denied Luminosity any footing inside of the site. Still could have done a little more, but Hiko and Vice are combining for frags, and this is a good look here for Luminosity, except for the wraparound from CT spawn. Nekas is just going to have to plant and hope he doesn't get overwhelmed, which he does. The push in from Hiko is great. And despite Steel having a flank here, the time is what goes against them. Don't die, Steel. Don't die. Because the money's all gone, and that one is just fiscally irresponsible.
How can you justify that? No, you don't. You want to hide. You have an impenetrable pillar there. You've got to wait a few more seconds, but he's all the way in construction. You know better. You know better in that situation. And he even comes back to the repeak with the USP because he has so much less to lose. He realizes, wow, if this guy peeks me, I have like a 30% chance of getting the kill. I get this kill. So much better for us next round. And now Luminosity have Steel on $100 in Glocks.
Pesky Glocks go charging into middle. They get blocked out by Vice. Hiko then pinches from behind and gets wrapped on. Henny with a killer headshot. And remember, of course, the man in the corner was lit. So it could have been a little bit more, but instead he'll take a little less. Still going to be happy with the result of it, I'm sure. A couple of kills here for Luminosity in a round that they just put on the express lane.
It continues to affect the money as Steel now has to go Mac 10 and 1 smoke.
Ugh.
Down in the doldrums, yuck. That's gross. So that's not going to let them affect the strategies, I think. You know, at least he's got that a very important smoke argument that is maybe the most important piece of utility on its own over anything else. And they're expecting the B rush. They want to stop that. I like that because on a light buy, and you know you've done economic damage, you expect the team to do something as simple as this. Ricky's going to toss a smoke to top banana. They don't have control here, and they have a lot of information. I feel like the rotate's maybe a little bit hasty, but with the smoke, at least they can buy a few seconds. And it's actually to swap places. So Ricky's just going to go ahead and pick up Arch, and instead they'll leave another rifler here in Crystal over at B to help out. What happens next, Connor?
We're going to get a wraparound here from Luminosity. They're just going to come around that corner.
The reach around.
They're going to puncture into the B bomb site.
Yikes. Tell me more.
I like this pop flash that Crystal has poised and prepared. He's going to use it in response to that first one, and then... No.
Look at that. 1 flash for a Molotov.
That's all right.
That's a deal.
It's a good trade.
They went to the bazaar. Got a poncho for $6 US.
You fit right in now.
They feel like it's B. They might be correct.
It certainly looks like it. I mean, Luminosity, they're forfeiting all their map control elsewhere. They are creeping and crawling and getting themselves closer and closer to these smokes. What's the utility look like for the 2 remaining players here? Crystal down to a flashbang sick. He's got just that flash as well. So again, as you said, right, using that utility to bait out the counter nades, but those nades make a wall inside of the bomb site. They're going to try wrapping around through construction with 15 seconds. Sick gets the blind side because the CTs, they're just kerneled up inside here. They're using the church as a defense. But the difference this time around is that Luminosity managed to get the plant, and that certainly plays into their favor. An additional difference is that there's no flank from Luminosity through CT spawn, so Rogue can confidently walk forward into this 5 versus 4. The time's not the greatest as the bomb's already ticked halfway, but the kills are starting to trickle in already. And it's even keel until Steel dicks 2. Off of the Mac 10, he mitigates the gun disadvantage and then upgrades into the M4, convincing Rogue off. Luminosity have picked themselves up a 3rd round, and there could be even additional losses. Rogue haven't safely tucked their way back into spawn, so it's going to welcome Luminosity in. And a nice attempt from Ricky. Better trade from Vice. It's Luminosity who get the last laugh, and it's Luminosity with the 3rd round.
Yeah, they save 1, but they got Rogue. They got all 5 from Rogue, and that was a big deal. So that's quite the round to win. I really feel like they were super indecisive when they ended up in construction. It seemed like they didn't know exactly what they wanted to do with that. And I'm very apprehensive to say that if you have 2 players in B, that they neither of them should be taking contact. Now, you do have a slight economic advantage for Rogue, and they had a couple more grenades to throw, but not that many for like a super consistent retake situation. And so if I'm Luminosity, I feel like, okay, I got this bomb down. I don't care what they're doing. The time's going to tick down, but by the time the rotates come in, they've only gotten 1 kill. I probably have a pretty good chance here. But that was last round. Now we've got Rogue back on rifles. Not optimal, but still got some stuff to work with. Sick and Ricky, the only kits.
I like this positioning from Vice. There's so many boosts you could potentially play on this side, right? There's the 2 little balconies, you've got the rooftop of porch, and then this boost too. So 4 options, he chooses the closest of all. I feel like it really catches players off guard from Boiler Door. Normally they're fixated on Pillar.
Yeah.
If anybody's looking for the boost player, it's normally the man peeking from the actual mid and not the doorway.
Definitely.
And because he's so close to the smoke, sometimes they don't get line of vision.
Oh yeah, tons of good reasons to get that off angle. You throw it in there, you know, 1 every 3, 1 every 4 rounds.
Yep.
And you almost always get that first kill for sure. Double port setup is great because even if a smoke comes down, you've got 1 man who can see over it. And 2, if they go full frontal. As Steel tries to do, successfully so, as Ricky comes back for the trade, creeping under the angle. And that is some good damage. Oh my goodness.
Ricky! That's so smooth. Gets both, and even does a little bit of chip damage here to Lucas. That was sick from Ricky. And he's gonna do it. That's now 4 kills for him. He's hunting the ace. And it's only Lucas who's who doesn't realize it, but he's walking into his death. Crystal dueling on the corner. Hiko is the one to seal it off. Nice round from Ricky there. I love the fact that Luminosity get that first kill, and he doesn't fall back. He just floats. He finds his chance to strike, and like a python, just snaps them all.
Yeah, and it seems like they're picking great times to when they feel like Luminosity are going to try to execute or try to get map control. They throw the smoke down right away, and Ricky's just on the other side. Like, I know exactly what I think you're going to do, and so, or exactly what you think you're going to do. I'm going to just go ahead and spam. Ends up, you know, paying off in dividends, but it's off of a really strong read. So Ricky's back to mid. He has been the king of it, and as for Luminosity, well, they've only got pistols.
This is starting to mirror our opening game with E United, where I feel like Luminosity, they had some wind in their sails at the start, but Rogue, they're making the individual plays to shut down what are crucial moments, crucial pushes. And then the next step is this economic distress that Luminosity are now experiencing. Vice has got to be careful. You're dangerously close to that corner. CZ can wrap around far faster than you may expect. He's got a teammate at least a little further back inside of the pit in the form of Vice and Hiko. There's a third man in the equation. Ricky back over here towards Library. He is going to allow some of the footing pass, but he drops the bomb, and he has a read as to what's going on. Decides to just eject, and that's the great call to make because these pistols are giving chase, and Vice is going to assume a spot in the corner. Now it's a pinch back from the B rotators, and they're just picking up the little pieces that Luminosity managed to find themselves. Even though they had so little, it's still been stripped away. There's an off chance for another kill, but with bomb and knowledge and frags all the way here for Rogue, you know this round is theirs.
Yeah, it was a very uncomfortable position they put them in after they felt like, okay, we got Arch to ourselves. And then they threw him some company. Obviously a key frag from Ricky, but it was smart of him to peek out as far as he did just to make sure, okay, this wasn't a flash for no reason. Clearly they wanted to do something at Arch, and then they got themselves into CT. And then he throws a Molotov on the fallback. Make sure he doesn't die in the library with the op. Can be a game changer if you have the op there. It can maybe kill the guy who's coming from B to try to make sure that the players who might split get stopped early. And Rogue seal up another one nice and clean. Nice and clean, and it's back to Glocks for Luminosity. Oh my gosh. A few things can make it feel man feel worse in Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Just to have a Glock.
If you thought the last round looked rough, well, look away, folks. This one's not going to be any easier. And it's already started off with a frag grenade kill, so you just know Rogue, they're itching to go on the charge, the push, the offense.
And they totally should. I think, you know, you ride off this momentum. You know you just are slowly starting to get back your traction back, and rounds are getting cleaner and cleaner. You know they're on an eco. You know Luminosity are trying to take time to talk. You want to get in the middle of that, and sometimes you'll actually end up like denying a bomb plant that would have happened if you didn't push. So here they are trying to play it quite passively, it seems, which is also a consistent way to win. You know, it's the way you learn in school.
Yeah. That's what they're doing, right? This is a little schoolboy tactic.
But we didn't end up making money off Counter-Strike listening to our teachers.
No, exactly. Let's see some playground brawls.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you in the classroom. Push them off the monkey bars.
We need some milkshakes in the yard.
I could never use the monkey bars because I didn't have the upper body strength.
Actually.
Why do you think they called me scrawny?
Can you use the monkey bars now?
Shut up. Another kill for Crystal. Here we have it, folks. A little wind in their sail. Sick and Co combined for the last few frags, and that's a fast one, as it should have been.
And it looks good. Looks really good for Rogue. Not major finalists, not major challengers. Actually, major challengers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could have messed that one up a little bit. They got stickers, is the point.
They had a good showing, too.
That's
another
good.
thing,
They
right?
looked very good.
They weren't there, Mohan, but Rogue certainly was.
It's true.
The retreat and more frag grenades. Good utility usage here from Rogue. I mean, I know I'm in Denmark, but I'm getting glimpses of Astralis. It's been consistent down towards the bottom, but that's what happens when you don't play around with timing, right? What's the play from Luminosity? Charge B. And because of that, Rogue, they have the defense, the economy, and clearly the utility to hold it back.
There's very few circumstances now that totally justify just straight up rushing B because of that. It's like there's so many early nades that you can throw as a CT. It's like a round where you don't think they're going to attempt B control, where you condition them to worry about A for the first 40 seconds. You haven't rushed in 5 rounds. You know you might have like a low buy, like then you might need to throw in a B rush. But apart from that, you typically have to give the CTs a lot of respect these days. They have earned it.
And as CTs, like, sure, you don't have to use your smoke grenades or your Molotovs. You don't need to force yourself into that banana control every time. But what are a couple frag grenades if it means a combined kill? So $600 total, and they picked up that 5v4. Now it's as they attempt the cross that Ricky can get a single kill, because Lucas spams him straight back. But do they anticipate a second man back here? New box occupied by Sick. Oh, and Lucas clears it. Heads up from him. Henny on top of the box gets a nice kill of his own. Now we're starting to see some individual prowess. Lucas and Henny, last two up, positioned and ready for Hiko to come forward. But as opposed to getting that footing on Banana, he's flirting with the idea of construction. Does get peeked first and foremost. Knows now where both players are, and he's going to charge the man in the back of the site. He knows he can isolate these duels, and now he knows exactly where the last one's at, but the bomb is ticking quickly, and that's the biggest issue. He's going to put down the flash, and he's going to stick this defuse. It's down to only a few seconds, and Henny, you got to peek. He doesn't, and it's a sneaky Hiko to win the round.
Classic
10
Hiko.
for Rogue.
Oh my gosh, classic Hiko. He wins the 1v2. Oh, Lucas fluffs a bit of a spray there, but he's nice and patient with it, misses the first couple of taps and completes the kill. And then after that, it's a bomb planted way too far for Henny to take care of safely. And there was enough time left that Henny had to be worried and scoped the whole time.
Yep.
He pretty much played that like, I'm going to try to come in, but I'm assuming you're faking. I'm hoping you're going for the kill first.
Now a couple kills as they challenge mid, but it's 6 that's most important, establishing the man advantage. And look at the utility here for Luminosity. All of it resides on Henny. If he goes down, remember, only a single nade drops. Oh, but nades go both ways. Like an interception.
The dog that bites back.
And now we've got this awkward situation where the arch has been open for a few seconds. We've got a creepy crawler clearing out CT spawn. We've got this pit anchor from Rogue. This is when communication on a team really comes into fruition. But poor Crystal, he's going to get caught blindsided.
Oh my God. Crystal actually, I don't even know what this is. A minute left, so we've got time for Nekus to work, and he's going to take his time. But Ricky, is he going to be offered up a kill here? This could be key, and he does get that, but he's going to walk backwards right into the prying arms of Nekus,
who then puts down the smoke and establishes map control on the site. So, I mean, Ricky still gets one, but the plan for Luminosity still goes to a T. They get this cleared, they have it crossed, but oh, he looks away. The worst possible moment for Nekus as Crystal comes in. And Henny could still win this. I mean, he's capable of a clutch, but he's got the plant on top of it now. Smoke fading and a leg shot versus Crystal. A warning sign. A love tap. But not enough to hold them back. They tease him as they peek, and, well, he does not want the tease. He gets the full dish.
Oh, look at that.
And he's going to hold the corner with 23 health. Hiko toying with the walk up, and now the swap to the Deagle is not going to cut it. Hiko with another. A clutch and a 1v1, and a defuse just the same. 11-3 as Rogue really assert themselves here.
Yeah, as much as Henny knew what was going to come his way, Hiko picked that as the play to count on him missing a kind of really difficult, uncomfortable shot. And so it makes sense. You know, even though the no-scope could have landed, it was definitely a play that Hiko knew exactly what he was asking for, and I feel like he was slightly favored. So it's cool that he won that, and then you know, the other play would have been just go to try to defuse the bomb with the smoke right there, and then risk Henny having to come fly out again, assuming that he's not faking one more time. But that is quite interesting. It's cool to see that, you know, you can have two subjective ways of playing the game. They both can work.
Yeah, I like that, right? We have back-to-back situations nearly with Hiko there, and he plays them differently, wins both. Fun stuff. Ricky?
Oh,
different spot. Again, just looks away. That's a couple timings that we've had in just back-to-back rounds now, but easy pick'ems. He gets himself the first and second. Ricky falling off of angles as it's Luminosity falling to the ground. Hiko's frag and combination of the M4 holds them at bay, and just as that happens, Sick arrives to slay. Yell, shot in the side of the head. Henny left alone once more.
Yeah.
He's got a great op, but he's got no teammates to work with.
And sometimes that's what you need. You need to have teammates. And yeah, 1v4, a minute left. He's got the bomb, he's got full HP, he's got a smoke, but that's about it. And it sounds like a lot, but not when you've got 4 other players who are in pretty much similar positions. So his biggest demon right now is that he's got no easy way to save. No safe place for him to sit in.
Last round too, right? So he's playing for all the marbles.
Yeah, good point.
Got to get that 4th one.
Let's put a little pomp on the roof.
He's gonna get at least one of these kills because it's Henny.
It's Henny.
The edges of these walls are very spammable. He scares them off, right? They both reposition. He's worried of somebody being inside of the bomb site, but it's actually 3 CTs towards spawn.
You just pick him off one more time. Oh my gosh, imagine.
Nice attempt. Obviously so outnumbered that people can throw themselves into the crossfire and still he goes down.
Yeah, they're playing that by the numbers. If as soon as he goes on cycle, they can just throw out another one. He's still got a cross, he's still got a plant. And even though Inferno, once you get the site, is nice, you still have to get the bomb down, and if there's no smoke, there's no safe way to put it down easily. So that was a clean first half from Rogue. After a tumultuous start, seemed like there was a moment of brilliance from Luminosity, but it was clearly a flash in the pan.
I think what's really cool to see this with Rogue is that they clearly didn't take much of a hit with the loss of their opper and in-game leader.
True.
Or one of their oppers, obviously, right? Cadian. The ability is there. So it's cool that we see him kind of slot in. But what I think was really nice about Crystal, and this is something that has to play into the fact that he's so experienced and he's been on so many different types of teams, it's that you can see the structure and core of Rogue is still there. All their players, they know their positions, they know their timings, they know their utility. It's just Crystal coming in and seeing, okay, what do you have? Lay it out for me. And then you see him slot very well into that kind of a position, right? He's, again, once more, a plug-and-play type player. And I use that term with him often because I don't think there's that many of them.
For sure.
There's not a lot of good stand-ins or good players when it comes to just rapidly picking up where a team has left running. Because Rogue, again, we're at the major. This isn't some tier 3 NA team that's going to be an easy place for him to succeed.
Not anymore, not anymore.
But alas, a pistol round that could spell for a quick victory. Get us back on schedule here for the 3rd map of the night, but it's an execution from Nekiz. That's 3, yeah, maybe more. I mean, these T's are in the back of the site. He's pinned. He could actually still pull off the pistol ace if he lands a couple more headshots, even the body shot for the one tagged up, but Vice denies him anything further. And because of the smoke, Yell had to play patient. But Steel's been given a chance to walk in. He's going to continue to deal damage here. He's the last man up, and he's fully exposed. Vice just spells disaster. He's doomed once his teammate dies.
Yeah, maybe with the P2K, 1 extra bullet. He's still got a reload. He's still got a team. 1 more player coming at him from Moto. So, Luminosity win a pistol round. That's going to be pretty good for them to at least get a few rounds on the board, maybe for dignity points. We don't know if that'll help them bring back the entire map, but it's a good start for sure. And Nekiz is so powerful in those situations where it just seems like he's going to die. And it's just one of those players where, like, he needs to be like that. He needs to be in positions where, like, there's 3 or 4 enemies. That's when his brain just goes into overdrive. And yeah, it definitely felt like he was on for the ace, even though his position was known. He's only got 2 sides to peek from. We all saw it in our mind's eye. But we all know that's not a real eye, so he ends up losing.
False prophet.
False prophet. Indeed.
Very little invested. I want to see where that 1 flashbang goes for Crystal. These are fun rounds, okay? I mean, you look at the armory here for Rogue, and obviously it's not all that interesting, and it's not all that likely that they pull all too much off. But I just like to learn how players use these 1 flashbangs in situations like that. And I think if you love playing Counter-Strike, you should too, right? We should try to get his perspective, because 1 flash can make the difference, 1 player can make the difference. Even if it just makes for enough space to get the bomb down, right?
That.
The positioning in the back of the A site, that's what's really going to serve as an anchor here. Steel's offset and figured out. An MP5 silently sprays down Hiko. Oh, that was, I thought, a beautiful headshot, but it was in fact a rotation. Henny doing a good job of coming to help his brother, and they will lock it down. So the flash does nothing, and as does Rogue.
It's the first match that we've casted with an MP5 in it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they weren't allowed in Istanbul.
It's kind of cool.
This sound still scares me. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, what is that?
I always think, like, is there different audio leaking in my headphones, or...
Yeah. Super strange. So, as far as I understand, I still haven't even. I don't think I've even used it.
I just like the way he slaps it.
Yeah, it's a cool reload. Very forceful. Betway odds on the screen. 6-1 in favor of Rogue.
Nobody believes in that comeback here for Luminosity.
He definitely understands something, apparently.
To be fair, it has been convincing, but Luminosity are on the board. They had that momentum in terms of the economy advantage, so they're supposed to win all the rounds they did. This is when Rogue are, according to those odds, going to take it all back. I like this setup. You walk into the Opper, and then Lucas just holds his own, but he's going to go on the offensive? I mean, he has the ability to trade frag here. I don't know about that.
Oh my god, the instant trade from Hiko as well, and Henny's op shot goes off, but once again, Hiko has been his bane, killing him every single round.
Superb headshots, and a superb positioning from Ricky. He slips the tongue into the library, and they never see it coming.
Gooey.
Wet Willy, Luminosity. They're going to be stagnant on 5. Rogue right back on the board thanks to the bye.
That's it. I mean, this is a round you 100% call it quits. So you don't have any way to know where they are in the sites. And after Moto Smoke comes out, half of the bomb timer has been shaved off, and you've got nothing to work for. And it's maybe in this fact that has made Nekas stay as close to it as possible, because he's worried that they might have left early to go and look for him on a big flank. So it's, again, interesting, the save meta, where the round is not over even if you give up. Slight damage dealt. No need for that AK. As Rogue now get 13 and look strong as ever, even in this next half. And that was unwarranted. The flash came out so early. Like, if someone throws a nade and you hear them, you peek them, because they have to be in an animation. Someone throws a flash that bounces twice and pops. You don't really think you're going to be able to kill someone, right? He even threw that flash for himself. That wasn't even second person. So.
And again, if he feels like he's alone there, then maybe I can see it coming, right? You think you're in a high-pressure situation where you're going to die, take one with you. But you're set up literally for someone to come around the corner. The whole setup is based around somebody turning that corner.
Exactly.
And then you turn it yourself.
And he can't help you.
No. But a little bit of disjointedness inside of the apartments doesn't spell absolute disaster. It just spells a 13th round for Rogue. Luminosity still have a bye, solid defense, and I like that they keep up these forward positionings. I like that there's a player just outside of this boost ×3. They're playing counter flash, I think both of them.
Yeah, so again, this is the VP mid setup. This time it's a 2.0, where they have somebody also boosted, so not in the same spot, but they're playing a high position.
Of course, the problem with that setup is that Lucas can just come overwhelmed by the man on Balkan. That's exactly what happens. They dispatch of the defense one after another. Henny firing off reveals himself, and he's just going to wait for the rotation of his teammate. It is just directly behind him, so you don't have to play all too hot. Nice flashbang. Good teamwork from Luminosity. That clears it out, and that makes things a little more interesting, because they can come in with the pincered movement, and they need to figure out where these last 2 Ts are at. 6 in the pit, Ricky on the bomb site. Henny's the only man currently tagged, so expect him to take a more passive position, and he's going to play off of Nekas's attempt once that smoke does fade. He throws down the Molotov, tries to burn them in the open, but the op is just honed in from Ricky, and now Henny's left to his own devices, so he's really going to section off the pit, but there's not even enough time to really defuse it right now. He needs the kill, and he gets the drive-by.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful shot, but unfortunately for him, it's not going to net him much more. He will die with the bomb. They all go down with the cause.
Damn, they all go. They use the utility like it's pretty much as well as you could have. They got a kill out of it. They made it a 2v2. They smoked the right side off of pit. Henny held onto a smoke just for the reactive information play, and they came in through arch. But the one thing you don't have going for you is an advantage when the guy's in the corner of the site opping. So that's one of the most common positions we see CTs fall into. And as a T, when you take the site, it's natural that you're going to as well. And it's all because you've just got like these angles that are just incredibly hard to deal with, and especially having the op. I mean, you can take some damage, but you'll still win the war. And now, Rogue are at 14, and Luminosity have decided to force up, which means we're going to see 2 forces in a row if they lose this. And it's definitely not looking good at this point.
Yeah, just straight up playing for the win. The long road of a comeback does lie ahead.
Good crosshair placement from Lucas. Cleans the clock of Hiko for his brother. We saw that triple lane setup last round, and as you pointed out, Connor, the weakness obviously being Lucas, being the only person there and no pick control, meaning that they're hoping it was going to be mid control first into an A something.
Yeah, like
the read was wrong and the flash was great.
A 3 mid, 1 balk play, not, you know, the 4-man waterfall. They were countered to the previous round, so the setup does not succeed. And Rogue trying to feel out the B-bomb site. Steel wraps the corner to his demise.
Oh, and
instantly dies. Beautiful headshot. And further damage from Sick actually pushes one into the pit. That's Lucas trying to find cover here. Expecting a rotation is Sick, but he's left to his own devices. And that's great because the flashbang has called that rotate, leaving it all on Nekaz. A single deagle to defend the B-bomb site, and the smoke's fading in his face. He still has cover from the coffin, and he gets the initial shot, but he can't land the follow-up. That's the problem. Only one for his efforts. Luminosity's rotates quick, though. They are immediately back into construction, wrapping the corners, clearing this out so they know that anybody who was on the bomb site has to be within it, and anybody after the fact has to be towards Banana. Unfortunately for Luminosity, they have to wait for this third player to arrive. I mean, they're already outnumbered and outgunned. You'd think that going in prior would be a problem, but Yell says no problem. Deletes Rikke. Pushes this onto the AKs. Remember, Sick is tagged up from Banana, so you want that to be last contact, but a couple headshots from Vice is the nail in the coffin. Lucas is done, and Rogue on 15.
Yeah, match point for them, and no problem with the afterplan. It just could be, the time ticked down too low. Luminosity were praying for a mistake in those last, 15 seconds, but I don't even think they had a kit. I'm not even sure. Maybe they did, but no utility. They had no Banana control, which is the best retake position. They had no one working on that big flank, which they probably could have. And they had all the reason in the world to maybe think about waiting for the next round here, where they're going to have the exact same buy. But again, as a CT, they save, they get the money back, and then they can also buy on top of the remaining utility they have. It's not the optimal setup. But again, I mean, every match really, really does count at the end of the season. Two teams that could potentially squeak their way into playoffs for sure.
Yeah, no, you could definitely argue that these guys kind of float around that borderline, right? I mean, Luminosity, one of the teams I believe to have made, maybe don't quote me on that. Scrub that, I said nothing. What I do know is that Rogue have a substantial lead and a substantial advantage now that they've already started to stack up bodies on the B site. Poor Nekaz will hang on with 15 health. He was overwhelmed last time with full HP. Still manages one. Spam shot, and the damage is substantial. These deagles straight through smoke. I mean, those are big bullets. But there's still big problems that lie ahead. That's the fact that the Kalashnikovs for Rogue are just patiently waiting for the smokes to fade. This is the thing, is if there was 15 seconds, there'd be that panic mode. But now they can just calm down for a second, make sure Luminosity aren't running through those smokes. And now they assume they're after plants, keep their guns in hand, and just wait for the CTs to walk straight forward. But man, Hiko's sent packing. Rikke wants to come clear that now, so they know another man has gotten himself over towards Banana. They need to figure out where Sick is at, and the odds are he's somewhere in this site, but hidden back behind cover is he. And with a flashbang, he's going to delay what looks like the inevitable. A 16th round for Rogue on the cusp of this bomb exploding. There is no kit currently on the defuse. He doesn't even stick it. This is over. Rogue, with a 16-5 win on Inferno, will take us to Dust 2.
Wow, no problem. Damn, Rogue looks super clean at the end of that. And again, Luminosity, another team, just like United, where we expected a lot more from them, and they just seem to fall flat. I mean, at the very minimum, 10 rounds. It's looking like they have a dog in the fight, but not only did they not get 10 rounds, but none of the rounds even really look close, and it's just like they won the second pistol as well, and they still couldn't do it.
Again, big plays, I think, as well over towards this B site. We had kernel defenses, and we had good lockdowns. There were certainly openings for Luminosity, but I think there was times where Rogue really got a counter. I'm thinking most importantly to that 3-man stack on Arch, which was just pulled apart by Balk. So we'll see you soon for the second map, folks. Don't go anywhere.